Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye nishtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata-sevayā bhagavati-uttama-shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Krishnaya vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankaja Maline Namaha Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangriye Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth-raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 8, The Sons of the Sagar Meet Lord Kapiladeva. So yesterday we were talking about these sons of Sagar Maharaj. So what happened? Sagar Maharaj was doing this yagya, Ashwamedh yagya. The horse had been stolen. Did we learn who stole the horse? Yes, we learned. King Indra stole the horse and kept it somewhere. So now Sagar Maharaj sent his children. They were the children of Sumati. Sumati. And then they went to search for the lost horse. One thing to note here, they were proud of this mention here. They were proud of their prowess and influence. So let's see text 9 and 10. Pragudityam dishi ayam dadrishuhu kapilantike esha vaji haraschaura aste militalochanaha hanyatam papa iti shashti sahasrinaha udayuddha abhiyayor unmimesha tada munihi. Thereafter, translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thereafter, in the northeast direction, they saw the horse near the ashram of Kapil Muni. Here is the man who has stolen the horse, they said. He is staying there with closed eyes. Certainly he is very sinful. Kill him, shouting like this. The sons of Sagar, 60,000 altogether, raised their weapons when they approached the sage opened his eyes. Hare Kṛṣṇa. I'll share this story in more details, but maybe after a few verses, when we read the whole story from Bhagavatam, then I'll share this story from Ramayana. This comes in the Valmiki Ramayana also. And this is a very nice book we have, Bhagavad Cosmology. In that, there's very nice description of the story. So, but now what has happened? They have reached the ashram of Kapil Muni, and they are assuming, well, looks like this guy has stolen the horse. So, kill him. Okay, let's see what happens. Text 11. Yes. Rameshru, you want to read? Raman Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, another pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Swasarig Nina Tavan Mahindra Hita Setasha Mahavayikti Krama Hata Bhasma Sada Abhavan Sanat. Could you scroll up, please? Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. By the influence of Indra, the king of heaven, the sons of Sagara had lost their intelligence and disrespected a great personality. Consequently, fire emanated from their own bodies, and they were immediately burned to ashes. Purport. The material body is a combination of earth, water, fire, and ether. There's already fire within the body, and our practical experience is that the heat of the fire sometimes increases and sometimes decreases. The fire within the bodies of the sons of Sagara Maharaj became so much hotter than all of them burned to ashes. The fire's increased heat was due to their misbehavior toward a great personality. Such behavior is called Mahad Vyatikrama. They were killed by the fire of their own bodies because of insulting a great personality. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji Bhakti. You're on mute, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for reading. So let me share this story from the Bhagavad Cosmology. This is the book I am referring, which is by devotees. And this is from Valmiki Ramayana, Balkhanda, chapter 39 and 40. So what happened? Maharaj Sagara was doing this yajna with the Anshuman, his other son. He had 2 wives, we discussed that. So the 60,000 sons were from, we just read the other wife whose name was mentioned here. So what's the name? Sumati, the sons of Sumati. And the sons of Keshini was this Anshuman. So Indra stole the horse, and as we have discussed, they were searching for the horse. Now you may be surprised that where did they go to look for the horse? They searched everywhere. And how many were there? How many sons were there?
60,000.
60,000. Each one dig 1 yojana. So how many yojanas they dug?
60,000.
60,000. So they were in the Bhuloka, and the distance between these two, Bhu, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, is 10,000 yojanas each. So they moved, they kept digging and digging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They reached the planet, crossed the planet of Nagalokas. So at last they were unable to find. They went 60,000 yojanas down. Sagar and his grandson Anshuman waited, and they were waiting. This Anshuman they were waiting. The son of Asmanjas, actually. Anshuman was the grandson of Sagar. Okay, just to clarify, he was the son of Asmanjas. So they were waiting, and but they may also they caused the inhabitants of the lower world, such as Nagas, to become greatly distressed. Indeed, even the earth itself became extremely disturbed as they were digging, because it's like digging, Mother Earth gets disturbed. So, and they really dug 60,000 yojanas. So multiply that with 8 is like equivalent to number of miles. So 480,000 miles. Hard to comprehend with our tiny intelligence. So they came where? 6 planets below, Rasatal. They came here. And guess what happened there? They could not find. And they were thinking, well, if we go empty-handed, we'll disappoint their father. And when the 60,000 princes inquired from the father what should they do next, so maybe they had some special way of communication, because the father was up 60,000 by yojanas, and so the technology was much better. uh, our networks won't work off 60,000 yojanas. But they somehow had their WhatsApp or Facebook to inquire. And the king ordered, continue digging further until you find the horse. So they came here, 10,000 more. They came all the way to Patala, making tunnels. And they also saw the Dig Gajas. Dig means great, Gaja means elephant. There are 4 elephants which kind of balance this whole universe. And their names are also mentioned in the Canto 5 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. On the east, west, south, north, all these directions they're balancing. These are gigantic elephants. And actually, we read in the story of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad that Hiranyakashipu had called these elephants, the Gajas, to trample Prahlad, to crush Prahlad. These are very, very huge elephants. We cannot imagine their size. And when sometimes they're tired, they shake their head, like, take it easy. And then guess what happens? Earthquakes happen. Calamities happens. So finally, after they dug further, 70,000 yojanas, and they reached where? They reached Patal, right? 7 layers below. And there's a nice picture here also, if you can see. I just shared on the group also. So basically, this is the Bhagavad cosmology. So if you can see here, Atala, Vitals, where my cursor is, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, Patal. So 10,000 yojanas. So they dig 60,000 yojanas plus again 10,000, and they came all the way from Bhuloka to Patal Loka. Is it too hard to understand or straightforward?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, how can we understand? Because these are different planetary systems, right? So this is not just one planet. So I'm just trying to, visualize.
Yeah, we cannot understand because we are in this. We can't even explore beyond the Earth, right? We can't. But this is, yes, these are different planetary. Like Narada Muni, he's a transcendental spaceman. He can travel. So we're talking about a different yoga. We're talking about different, whole. Like even we don't know even of beyond, like in Jambudvip. We are in Jambudvip, but we are in a tiny khanda of Jambudvip. There are 9 divisions of Jambudvip, but we are in Bharat Khanda. There are 9 subdivisions of Bharat Khanda. We are in the tiny, that thing called Earth, and we think we are the Lord of the universe.
Yeah.
So we are very, very limited, our intelligence, our abilities. So as the, earlier, like demigods used to come, like we just read Varuna and all, they're coming. So, but now things are different. So we're in different yoga, different spiritual potency, different everything.
Yeah, my question was digging because I think, we just need to understand that the digging is still possible across the planetary systems.
Yes, yes. So yes, they made a tunnel and came all the way to Patala. 70,000 yojanas. And who was there? Lord Kapila was present. So Lord Kapila was present, and they did a mistake there. What was the biggest mistake they did?
They thought he was the one who did it.
Yes, assumption. Indra had done this whole plot. He just put it there, maybe knowing that what these proud people will do. So they were proud. We learned that of their prowess. They certainly had a lot of power. But dug 60,000 yojanas is no joke. Even they were 60,000, but still digging like 8 miles each is a big thing. So they were proud of their strength. They were proud of their royal order. And also in that, let me read what they saw The sons of Sagara came upon Lord Kapila sitting in meditation while nearby the sacrificial horse stood grazing peacefully. Hastily assessing the situation, Sagara's son assumed Kapila to be thief. Assumption, jumping to conclusions without proper communication, without proper understanding, without proper knowledge. They just assume that this guy must have stolen. This guy is a culprit. So they assume Lord Kapila is a culprit. And again, he is the Supreme Lord. So angrily, they took up their digging instruments. They had digging instruments, their crane or whatever, their hands, and rushed to kill him. 60,000 people rushing to kill Lord Kapila. Who can kill the Lord? The Lord was meditating, eyes closed. He opened his eyes and uttered a mantra. It's the power of the mantra. And they just burned to ashes. So this was the story of the sons of Sagar. They were burned to ashes. Okay. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, Prabhu.
So we will see how they were revived. Let's see the following verse, text number 12. Yes, Umesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Text 12. Na sadhu vado muni kopavarjita nrupendra putra iti satvadhamani katham tamo roshamayam vibhavyate jagat pavitrat mani kherajo bhuvaha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is sometimes argued that the son of King Sagara were burned to ashes by the fire emanating from the eyes of Kapil Muni. This statement, however, is not approved by great learned person. For Kapil Muni's body is completely in the mode of goodness and therefore cannot manifest the mode of ignorance in the form of anger, just as the pure sky cannot be polluted by the dust of earth. So Prabhupada clarifying here, we just read in the last text that because of his misbehavior and because of his misbehavior towards the great personality, Kapil Muni, and so that his body became very hotter, and because of that, he basically burned into the ashes, not because of the Kapil Muni did something. And the comparison has given here a sky and the earth. I mean, no matter what, the earth cannot pollute the sky. That is a great example. So the mode of goodness, one who goes with the mode of goodness is not difficult. It's not easy for them to goes into the immediately in the ignorance mode as soon as they anger or something like that. That's my understanding, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So, yeah, quite straightforward. Lord Kapila Muni is completely is all transcendental. So even the anger is transcendental. When Krishna gets angry upon various things, but all that is transcendental. So these modes do not affect pure devotees, what to speak of the Supreme Lord. They are transcendental to all the modes. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha. They're free. Pure devotees are free of these modes. Let's see the next verse, text 13. Vaswati Mataji, want to read?
Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam everyone. Text 13. Yasya rita sankhya mai trideha no yaya mumukshush tarate duratyayam bhavarnavam mrityo patham vipashitaha paratma bhutasya katham prithanmatihi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Kapila Muni enunciated in this material world the Sankhya philosophy, which is a strong boat with which to cross over the ocean of nescience. Indeed, a person eager to cross the ocean of the material world may take shelter of this philosophy. In such a greatly learned person, situated on the elevated platform of transcendence, how can there be any distinction between enemy and friend? Purport. One who is promoted to the transcendental position, Brahma Bhuta, is always jubilant, Prasannatma. He is unaffected by the false distinctions between good and bad in the material world. Therefore, such an exalted person is Samaha Sarvesu Bhutesu. That is to say, he is equal toward everyone, not distinguishing between friend and enemy, because he is on the absolute platform, free from material contamination. He is called Paratma Bhuta or Brahma Bhuta. Kapila Muni therefore was not at all angry at the sons of Sagara Maharaja. Rather, they were burned to ashes by the heat of their own bodies. So here, this purport is explaining that Kapila Muni, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, he is in the absolute platform and in the Brahma Bhuta. So he has no anger or happiness. He has no friend or enemy. Everyone is equal to the Lord. So as Kapila Munis, so that's why it's explaining here that those sons of Sagara Maharaj burned by their own bodies, not by Kapila Muni's cards or anything. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So he gave this Sankhya philosophy, and we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4. So basically taking shelter of the Sankhya philosophy, which is basically, if one understands it correctly, it's the same as Bhakti Yoga. There is no difference. But if someone misconcludes or draws wrong conclusion, then there is a imposter Kapila also who gave a totally wrong interpretation to the Lord Kapila's Sankhya philosophy. There's a nice, in Canto 4, there is nice discussion about the teachings of Lord Kapila to Mata Devahuti. And the famous verse in that is, Titikshva Karunika Suhrida Sarva Bhutanam. Suhrida Sarva Bhutanam, as we are learning. Or Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu. Suhrida, he's a well-wisher to everyone. He's not thinking, oh, he's my friend, he's my enemy. Because the whole world is their friend. They think everyone as their friend, and everyone thinks them as their friend. Like the Goswamis. Dhira adhira priya jano. They are priya to everyone. Not just the people of their own community, their own caste, or their own language, or their own color of skin. They are Paratma Bhuta, or Brahma Bhuta, or Surada Sarva Dehina, or Ajata Shatru. All these words. Ajata Shatru, Yudhishthira Maharaj is called Ajata Shatru, one whose Shatru is not born, because he was never distinguishing on all these parameters. So we can also learn those special qualities from those great personalities. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Text 14. Yes, Lakshay Prabhu.
Samanja itya ukta sakheshya nipata Nipatmaja Tasya Putro Amshumannama Pitama Chittirich Translation. Among the sons of Sagara Maharaj was one named Asamanjasa, who was born from the king's second wife, Keshani. The son of Asmanjasa was known as Amsuman, and he was always engaged in working for the good of Sagara Maharaj, his grandfather.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So we learned about the 60,000 sons from the wife Sumati. Right? What was her name? Sumati. Sumati and Keshani, they were the two wives, correct? Yeah, so sons of Sumati were these 60,000 sons who are now burned to ashes, correct? Because of their pride. Their pride burned them. But now Anshuman is the grandson of Sagara Maharaj. So let's see how he was engaged in the good for his grandfather. Text 15. Yes, Sudhir Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, and Pranam, all praise to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 15-16. Asamanjasa atmana darshayan asamanjasam jati samara paras sangat yogi yoga vichalita acharan ghar hitam loka jnatinam karma vipriyam saryavam kridito balan prasyad udvijnan gnanam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Formerly, in his previous birth, Asamanjasa had been a great mystic yogi, but by bad association he had fallen from his exalted position. Now in this life, he was born in a royal family and was a jati smara. That is, he had the special advantage of being able to remember his past birth. Nonetheless, he wanted to display himself as a miscreant, and therefore he would do things that are abominable in the eyes of a public and unfavorable to his relatives. He would disturb the boys sporting in the river Sarayu by throwing them into the depths of the water. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So here we can see that by bad association, even a great mystic yogi can get bewildered, and we can see, how by bad association, example I was maybe not opt here, but I think Anga, Prabhuji, he was also in the bad association. He was also throwing, boys in the river and like that. But please add Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Vena Prabhuji, son of Anga.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. So, also reminds me of Jad Bharat. He acted like a bad person. Of course, he would not trouble others, so I'm not sure if it's right to compare here. He would just act silly. Like his father would tell him, like, eat from the right hand, he'll do from the left. His father was like, okay, if you pass stool, you must, take bath, and he would not even wash his hands. So like that, he would, do kind of knowingly do silly things, and so that people don't think him as a great person. Because otherwise, if a person is acting like a madman, then no one wants to be with, no one wants to marry that mad person, no one wants to be with, then people are just, so he would, he wanted to display himself as a miscreant, and he would do things which are abominable. So basically throwing the young boys, his friends probably of that age, sporting with them and throwing them in the Saryu river. So let's see what happens further. This is about the son of the other wife of Sagara, Krishna. Let's see. Text 17. Anyone who has not yet read today? It's text 17.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, may I?
Yes, please.
Ji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all devotees. Text number 17. Evam vrittah parityaktah pitra sneham apoya vai yogeshwaryena balastan darshayitva tato yayo. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Because Asmanjasya engaged in such abominable activities, his father gave up affection for him and had him exiled. Then Asmanjasya exhibited his mystic power by reviving the boys and showing them to the king and their parents. After this, Asmanjasya left Ayodhya. Purport: Asmanjasa was a Jati Smara. Because of his mystic power, he did not forget his previous consciousness. Thus, he could give life to the dead. By exhibiting wonderful activities in relation to the dead children, he certainly attracted the attention of the king and the people in general. Then he left the place immediately. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you, Mataji. So, very exemplary, kind of extraordinary. He revived the children back. Why? Because he remembered the previous life's mystic power. So, let's see text 18. Anyone who has not yet read today? We're talking about Ayodhya. See, Ayodhya, Saryu River. You may have heard this. So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I can read.
Ji Mata.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, text number 18. Ayodhyavasina sarve balakana punaragatan drushtva visismire rajan raja cha apyavantapya. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O King Parikshit, when all the inhabitants of Ayodhya saw that their boys had come back to life, they were astonished, and King Sagara greatly lamented the absence of his son. So here we can see the Lord Rama's Ayodhya and Sharayu river has been mentioned. So within few days we will hear Lord Ramachandra's pastime. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, there's a brief mention of Asmanjas and his pastimes, or his mischievous mystic powers and pastimes. But let's read some, and we'll see tomorrow how Anshuman, his son, Asmanjasa's son, did, and how he was able to help. That we will learn not tomorrow, actually on Monday, because tomorrow and the day after we have our regular Bhagavad Gita, and on Sunday very special program with His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami Maharaj. So now we'll read a few verses